Good evening. This is Big Back News. I'm bringing you the most critical developments shaping our nation and the world tonight. We begin with a weather emergency of historic proportions. A massive winter storm is currently sweeping across the United States, prompting at least 18 states to declare states of emergency. This dangerous system is unleashing a devastating combination of heavy snow, freezing rain, and dangerously low temperatures, affecting millions of Americans from the Pacific Northwest clear across to the East Coast. Authorities are issuing urgent warnings, urging residents to stay indoors and avoid all non-essential travel as hazardous conditions intensify. This is not your typical winter weather event. The storm's widespread reach and extended duration are creating significant disruptions nationwide. Thousands of flights have already been canceled or delayed, leaving travelers stranded at airports across the country. Major roadways have become treacherous, with multiple states reporting accidents and dangerous driving conditions. Schools and businesses have shuttered their doors, and emergency services are bracing for increased demand as communities prepare for the full brunt of this powerful storm system. Snow has already begun falling in Texas and Oklahoma, serving as an early warning for what is expected to sweep across the eastern United States. Delta Airlines has proactively urged passengers to rebook their flights ahead of this weekend, anticipating widespread disruptions to air travel. The National Weather Service is warning that this storm will bring a wild and unpredictable forecast, with conditions deteriorating rapidly across multiple regions. But perhaps the most dangerous element of this storm is not the snow itself, but the freezing rain. Millions of Americans are now at significant risk of losing power and heat due to this particularly hazardous form of precipitation. Unlike snow, which can be cleared, freezing rain creates a heavy coating of ice on power lines, trees, and critical infrastructure. This accumulation places immense strain on the electrical grid, causing lines to snap and tree branches to fall, resulting in what could be extensive and prolonged power outages. For many households, losing electricity also means losing access to heat, which becomes a life-threatening concern when temperatures plummet to dangerous lows. Utility companies across affected regions are preparing for substantial challenges in restoring power, as icy conditions make repair work both dangerous and painstakingly slow. Emergency management officials are activating winter storm protocols and urging vulnerable populations to seek shelter. The combination of widespread outages and extreme cold creates a genuine public safety crisis that could persist for days in some communities. Governors and local officials are coordinating massive response efforts, deploying resources for snow removal, power restoration, and emergency shelters. The scale of this weather event cannot be overstated. It is testing our nation's infrastructure and emergency response capabilities across a broad swath of the country. Turning now to national security and law enforcement. In Minneapolis, streets have filled with residents engaging in peaceful protests despite frigid temperatures, following a shooting incident involving U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. The incident has sparked significant community reaction and drawn public attention to the actions of federal law enforcement within the city. Authorities continue to investigate as the situation develops, highlighting underlying tensions surrounding immigration enforcement and civil liberties. In a related development that has drawn widespread concern, court documents reveal that a 2-year-old child, Elvis Tipan Echeverria, was taken into ICE custody along with his father in Minnesota and subsequently flown to Texas. According to their attorney, this transfer across state lines raises serious questions about the treatment of minors within the immigration enforcement system. The case has intensified the national conversation about immigration policies and their impact on families, particularly young children. In Indiana, a shocking incident has rocked the legal community. 5 individuals have been formally charged in connection with the shooting of an Indiana judge. Among those charged is a man who was reportedly facing trial in the very court presided over by the wounded judge. This disturbing detail suggests a possible retaliatory motive and raises profound questions about judicial safety and the integrity of our legal system. The case is expected to draw significant attention as it proceeds through the courts. A major development in federal law enforcement. Ryan Wedding, a former Olympian who had been on the FBI's most wanted list, has been captured in Mexico. In a significant show of the case's importance, FBI Director Kash Patel personally oversaw the operation to fly Wedding back to the United States. The capture closes a long-running fugitive investigation and demonstrates the extensive reach of U.S. federal agencies in pursuing wanted individuals across international borders. In California, authorities have arrested a man accused of embezzling millions of dollars intended for homeless programs. The alleged scheme diverted substantial public funds earmarked for crucial services and housing initiatives for the state's unhoused population. This case highlights persistent challenges in overseeing public fund allocation and is expected to prompt renewed scrutiny of financial controls within agencies managing social services. A concerning public health development. A new study has revealed that colorectal cancer has become the deadliest form of cancer for a specific demographic group within the United States. This finding indicates a troubling shift in cancer mortality patterns and raises alarms about disparities in healthcare access, delayed diagnoses, and the effectiveness of current screening strategies. Health experts are urging increased awareness and targeted interventions to address this critical challenge. And in legal developments surrounding school safety, prosecutors have twice attempted to charge law enforcement officers for their alleged inaction during school shootings. However, both attempts to secure convictions have failed, with juries declining to find the officers criminally liable. This outcome highlights the immense difficulty in prosecuting law enforcement for inaction and raises complex questions about the legal standards for police accountability in emergency situations. On the international front, diplomacy and conflict continue to shape global affairs. Russian airstrikes are pounding Ukraine, even as U.S.-brokered peace talks proceed in Abu Dhabi. This stark juxtaposition of ongoing military aggression alongside diplomatic negotiations underscores the volatile and complex nature of the conflict. The discussions reportedly focus on the highly contentious issue of territorial concessions, with Ukraine, Russia, and the United States all participating in these sensitive talks. The outcome will significantly influence the future trajectory of this protracted war and broader geopolitical stability. U.S. envoys are currently in Israel to discuss the future of Gaza, according to sources. These high-level discussions are expected to address crucial aspects, including governance, security arrangements, reconstruction efforts, and humanitarian aid delivery following intense conflict in the region. The involvement of American diplomats highlights the international community's recognition of the complexity and the necessity of coordinated efforts to establish long-term stability. In a stark warning from Tehran, a senior Iranian official has declared that Iran would consider any attack against it as, quote, all-out war. This declaration reflects a heightened state of alert and a strong deterrence posture amid escalating regional tensions. Such rhetoric from a major Middle Eastern power raises international concerns about the potential for significant escalation and broader military engagements in an already volatile region. The Pentagon is forecasting a, quote, more limited role in deterring North Korea, suggesting a potential shift in the United States' strategic approach on the Korean Peninsula. This reevaluation could imply changes in resource allocation or an expectation of increased responsibility from regional allies. The implications for regional stability and the balance of power in East Asia could be substantial. Libya is on the verge of signing a major 25-year oil deal with Total Energies and ConocoPhillips. This long-term agreement signifies renewed international confidence in Libya's energy sector and its ability to provide a stable environment for foreign investment. The deal will likely boost Libya's oil output and revenue, with broader implications for global energy markets. In a tragic natural disaster, a devastating landslide has struck West Java, Indonesia, resulting in at least 7 confirmed deaths, with dozens more missing. Heavy rains and unstable ground are believed to have triggered the catastrophic event. Rescue operations are severely hampered by challenging terrain and continued adverse weather, with fears that the death toll could rise significantly. Meanwhile, New Zealand authorities have called off rescue efforts for 6 individuals missing after a separate landslide, transitioning now to a recovery operation. Turning to financial markets and the economy, this week is shaping up to be pivotal for U.S. markets. Major technology giants Meta, Microsoft, and Apple are all set to report their quarterly earnings. These reports serve as crucial indicators of sector health and can significantly influence overall market sentiment. Investors will be closely watching for insights into company growth, profitability, and future outlooks, especially given the heavy weighting of these companies in major market indices. Beyond corporate earnings, the Federal Reserve's upcoming meeting looms large. Market participants are eagerly awaiting any signals regarding future interest rate policy. The Fed's commentary on inflation, economic growth, and its balance sheet strategy will be meticulously analyzed for clues about the direction of monetary policy. Any shift in the Fed's stance could trigger significant movements across equity, bond, and currency markets. Intel's stock experienced a dramatic plunge, dropping 17% in its worst single-day performance since 2024. Despite the company reporting an earnings beat, ongoing manufacturing challenges overshadowed the positive financial results. The market reacted negatively to concerns about Intel's ability to execute its production plans and compete effectively in the semiconductor industry. This substantial drop highlights the market's sensitivity to operational execution, even when immediate financial results appear favorable. In a significant legal ruling, a U.S. judge has declared that the Trump administration unlawfully suspended an electric vehicle charger infrastructure program. This federal initiative was designed to boost the deployment of EV charging stations across the nation. The judge's decision emphasizes legal obligations governing federal programs and potentially paves the way for reinstatement of such infrastructure projects, which are vital for supporting the burgeoning electric vehicle industry. Amazon is reportedly planning a significant reduction in its corporate workforce, with approximately 30,000 jobs expected to be cut as early as next week, according to Reuters. This move signals a strategic shift within the tech giant, likely aimed at optimizing operations and streamlining expenses. Such a substantial workforce reduction has significant implications for the labor market and highlights economic pressures facing even the largest corporations. Here in New York City, residents are facing higher utility bills as state regulators have approved a significant rate hike for Con Edison customers. This decision means increased electricity and gas costs for millions across the metropolitan area, despite widespread concerns about the rising cost of living. The utility argued the increase is necessary to fund infrastructure upgrades and meet clean energy mandates. The approved hike will be phased in over several years, adding another financial burden to households already grappling with inflation. A judge has ruled that New York City's new minimum pay rules for app-based food delivery workers will take effect Monday. This decision follows legal challenges from companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. Under the new regulations, delivery workers in NYC will earn a minimum of approximately $17.96 per hour, not including tips. While worker advocates praise the ruling, delivery companies have expressed concerns about potential impacts on their business models. And officials in New York and New Jersey are issuing strong warnings, urging residents to, quote, take a breath and stay home, as an unusual and potentially severe snowstorm approaches. Forecasts suggest heavy snowfall, strong winds, and hazardous travel conditions across the metropolitan area. Emergency services are preparing for significant disruptions, including potential school closures and delays in public transit. The MTA is deploying vintage Redbird subway cars as part of its arsenal to de-ice the third rail and maintain service during the storm. Despite the severe forecast, New York City public schools will not observe traditional snow days, opting instead for remote learning when inclement weather prevents in-person classes. This policy shift means students are expected to continue their education virtually from home, marking the end of a cherished childhood tradition for many families. Finally, on a somber note for the entertainment community, Floyd Vivino, the beloved New Jersey comedian known as Uncle Floyd, has died age 74. The entertainer was a legendary figure in the New York, New Jersey entertainment scene for decades, known for his quirky, family-friendly comedy show that became a cultural fixture in the tri-state area. That's our comprehensive look at the news shaping our world tonight. From the historic winter storm threatening millions across the nation to critical international diplomacy, economic shifts, and local developments here in New York. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay prepared. For Big Back News, thank you for your time this evening. Good night.